What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The one and only James Williams, Dark Waters, and I'm back. And we're touching on what's happening in the news today, particularly the power outages that are going on in France and Germany and Berlin. And then, secondly, we're touching on what's going on with the 2-year-old kid who was deported, that was an American citizen that was deported, and how this is going to play out for everybody in the future. It's important that you understand that this is what's coming down the pipeline for you to deal with. And you're going to have to deal with it, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to try and twist your heart. Yeah, they're going to try and twist your heart and break your heart.
Hold on one second. We're about to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. This don't make no sense whatsoever. Welcome to the Dark Waters channel, where we explore mysteries, figure out the truth, dive into politics, and anything else you want to know about. That's what we're doing over here, baby. Let's go.
Well, that was wild, ladies and gentlemen. For some reason, the sound wasn't coming through, and now we have it. These are people walking, ladies and gentlemen, walking home during the power outage in France, Germany, Greece, Belgium, Netherlands, Spain, Portugal, and Andorra. Listen, the EU has come under a cyber attack, and they need the cyber attack to try and start World War IV, because Donald Trump met with Zelensky, and clearly we're about to go into peace, and somebody don't want the peace. Now, you know, if you go 30 days without power, people start eating each other, right? If the average person can't survive 10 days without no power, 30 days, start eating each other. Well, shit, they got emergency power. We got emergency power. That's wild. See, that threw me off, guys. Hold on. Let me get back to where I was. Because the audio being off threw me off. Let's go to Tom Homan.
So he's clear that Mexico is not going to pay for it? Is that what you're saying?
Let's address that. Trump said Mexico will pay for the wall. They have in a roundabout way, have they not? Putting 10,000 military on the northern and southern border, taking the action they did, remain in Mexico. They didn't have to do that. They're doing it. Putting military on the southern border. Have moved illegal immigration to a record low. We're saving millions of dollars every day on detention, transportation, removal proceedings. We've more than made up for the cost of that wall because of the actions of Mexico. So is Mexico helping build that wall? Yeah, because we're saving so much money, millions of dollars a day, that we can afford to build that wall. So actually, yes, they're helping to build the wall.
So he's clear that Mexico is not going to pay for it?
It's crazy that they keep letting these jackasses in the White House press briefing. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Meanwhile, in California, here's what you can look forward to in Cali.
Hello, California. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco.
Hey, Chad.
For more than a decade, the leadership in Sacramento has literally tied the hands of law enforcement and made it almost impossible for us to protect you. Now, they are coming after you and your ability to protect yourself. Under a new bill, AB 1333, by California Assembly member from Santa Monica, Rick Chavez Spur, you will no longer be allowed to protect yourself when confronted by violent criminals. Under this bill, if a criminal attacks you or your family and you defend yourself, and that criminal dies as a result of his criminal behavior, you could be arrested and charged with murder. Now let me make this very, very clear. You have a constitutional and a God-given right to protect yourself. You actually have that right under California law. But our California Democrat leadership and Assemblymember Spur say no, you don't. It is time we stand up to this insanity in Sacramento. I am asking all of you to contact your local elected officials in Sacramento and tell them that this bill needs to be removed from the Assembly floor. Contact Assemblymember Spur's office and demand this bill be removed. Californians deserve far better than what we are getting from our Democrat leadership and our assembly members and senators in Sacramento. We demand better. We deserve better.
Wow. Wow. And I need you to understand what they're doing to California is what they want for us all. That's what Democrats want. They want illegals and aliens to run around, rape, pillage, and destroy. And you see them, as far as it pertains to the Maryland man, defending illegals and criminals. And let's just keep it real. This is what they want. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing you could do about it unless you vote them out. If we decide we're going to sit back and take it, it's over for us. It's over for us. Let me get to the most important thing I wanted to hit. No one is above the law. No one is above the law. This was the most exciting thing that came out in the news today. When the Trump administration came out and said that anybody that's harboring an alien, assisting with an alien, or obstructing law enforcement is going to be prosecuted. They don't give a damn if it's the Supreme Court. They don't give a damn if it's a federal judge. They don't care about none of that. This is where we should have been a long time ago. And I still believe that they'll have a hard time like getting them like fully prosecuted. But I don't care. I don't care. If you're a judge and you commit a crime, you can't sit on the bench no more. So we got rid of you as a judge. I'm so sick and tired of the Democratic Party using lawfare against us, and we refuse to use lawfare against them. No. If you're a judge and you commit a federal crime, you cannot sit in that seat anymore. Point blank, period. That would be how I take them out. I'll be sending illegals to them. You better handle this illegal with kids' gloves. You do anything that constitutes obstruction of the law, anything that constitutes aiding and abetting them, we arresting you. And that's how you get rid of all of them. I'm like, okay, yeah, y'all want a process? Because think about it. They've been saying, well, you need to have a process. You need to have a process. And their concept and idea of having this process is to give them more time, to give them more space, right? To slow down the process that they say we need to have a process for. So, okay, I'm going to turn that whole thing against you. You want a process? Boom. We're going to give you a process. Now, if you violate the law in this process, I'm arresting you. How long do you think judges are going to be calling for a due process for illegal aliens when they know that there's a high chance of them going to prison? They're going to stop it immediately. But see, nobody thought he was willing to do this, so they was willing to roll the dice.
You guys arrested a Milwaukee County Circuit judge
Yep.
for allegedly helping illegal immigrants get away. As you guys look at other judges, would you ever arrest somebody higher up on the judicial food chain, like a federal judge or even a Supreme Court justice?
Well, that's a hypothetical question. Again, I defer you to the Department of Justice for individuals that they are looking at or individual cases. But let's be clear about what this judge did. She obstructed federal law enforcement who were looking for an illegal alien in her courthouse. She showed that illegal alien the door to evade law enforcement officials. That is a clear-cut case of obstruction. You don't have to be a lawyer to understand that. And so anyone who is breaking the law or obstructing federal law enforcement officials from doing their jobs is putting themselves at risk of being prosecuted, absolutely.
You guys arrested a Milwaukee County Circuit.
And it makes sense. So, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker needs to be arrested. Listen to J.B. Pritzker.
Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption. But I am now.
Insurrection. Insurrection. Insurrectionisms. Insurrectionism, he needs to be January 6th. And I think that's what needs to happen next. If you out here calling for mass protests and mass this, it's an insurrection. We know this. We've been down this road. He's an insurrectionist, and he needs to be arrested.
These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace.
Woo! Ooh, that sounds real insurrection. Not having a moment of peace.
They have to understand that we will fight their cruelty with every megaphone and microphone that we have. We must castigate them on the soapbox and then punish them at the ballot box.
Insurrection. Based upon the standards that they had, insurrection. Lock him up. Lock him up. That's why I stand on it. Lock him up. Tom Homan just hits hostile media with cold reality on Judge Dugan. I said from day one, when you cross that line to impediment or knowingly harboring concealing an illegal alien, you'll be prosecuted, judge or not. Tell him, Tom.
I said from day one, you don't have to support ICE's operations. You can support sanctuary cities if that's what you desire to do. Sanctuary cities can stand aside and watch ICE keep their communities safe, because any public official, whether you're mayor, city councilman, or governor, their number one responsibility is protection of communities.
Yep.
And ICE has been clear, we're targeting public safety threats and national security threats. I can't believe there's any elected official, and especially a judge, that doesn't believe we should be doing that, and they should be helping us. But I said from day one, you can sit aside and watch, you can argue against us all you want and protest all you want, but when you cross that line, and I've said this 1,000 times, when you cross that line to impediment or knowingly harboring, concealing an illegal alien from ICE, you will be prosecuted, judge or not. I said from day one.
Now I'm gonna say this to you
don't
guys.
have to support.
We you see, we're into the next phase. We're getting ready to hit the next phase of this deportation. And we got signs of it from them getting up in arms about the baby being deported. Watch, baby being deported. And guys, I kind of freestyle this. Let's go with the libtard talking about it.
Major breaking news. A federal judge raised alarm tonight that the Trump administration deported a 2-year-old American citizen to Honduras with no due process. U.S. District Judge Terry Doughty, a Trump appointee, said the child, identified in court papers by the initials VML, appeared to have been released in Honduras earlier Friday, along with her Honduran-born mother and sister, who had been detained by immigration officials earlier in the week. The judge on Friday scheduled a hearing for May 16, which he said was, quote, in the interest of dispelling our strong suspicion that the government just deported a U.S. citizen with no meaningful process. The child, who was born in New Orleans in 2023, had been with her mother and sister during a regular immigration check-in at the New Orleans Office of Immigration and Customs Enforcement on Tuesday. Now, the Trump administration said in court that the mother told ICE officials that she wished to take VML with her to Honduras. The filing included a handwritten note in Spanish they claimed was written by the mother and confirmed her intent, but the judge said he had hoped to verify that information. The judge wrote, quote, the government contends that this is all okay because the mother wishes that the child could be deported with her, but the court doesn't know that. Yeah, a 2-year-old U.S. citizen deported to Honduras under Donald Trump's administration. Now that hearing is set so the court can kind of flesh out these details.
Okay, so now that this soy boy, part trans, libtard is through talking, let's just keep it real. You decided you're going to bring your ass over here and break the law and have a baby. So the choice boils down to this. The child had a mother and a father. The mother chose to keep the baby with her. And so when the mother got deported, she said, my baby coming with me. So the baby went with the mama. What's the process? You want to put the kids through the same process that they went through with the Biden administration? Where the kids came across the border and disappeared into the night in the dark? That's the process we want to see kids go through in the United States of America. So you want to separate families. The mother wanted her child with her. That's just that. She had an option not to come to America and have the baby. See, when we get to the point where we start deporting the illegal women and their children, is when you really going to see these clowns lose their mind. Nonetheless, remember, they sent kids here alone. Nonetheless, you're a terrible parent if you travel 6,000 miles with your kid to break the law to come to America. That's child cruelty, child endangerment. But screw all that. No, screw all that. No. This is a 2-year-old American citizen who was deported. Well, what about the sister? It was a 2-year-old and a sister. The sister wasn't an American citizen? Why you pick the 2-year-old? The mother had their mother was the mother, a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. Why you pick the 2-year-old? You want to know why they picked the 2-year-old? Because it sounds better in the media. And they say a 2-year-old American citizen was deported. That makes you think that they had a little 2-year-old baby in handcuffs and the baby was just put on a plane and sent back and dropped off in the middle of nowhere. No, see, this is where we're going to find out what America's made of. This is when we finna find out. This is when America's metal is finna get tested. We're going to find out if America is American or American, or we going to bend to the will of soy boys like him. Look at that thing. Look at it. That's what we're about to find out. Never mind the fact that you came here legally. Never mind the fact that you broke the law. Never mind the fact that you had a baby while you wasn't illegal. Screw all that. None of that matter. Oh, the baby born here, the baby is citizen. All right. So where we going to put the baby? The baby won't be with his daddy. Okay. The mama don't want the baby to be with the daddy. The mama want the baby with her, and I can't blame her. So what, well, now we're going to get in a family court dispute? Now you're going to take the child away from his mother? Where you going to put the child? It's insane to me, man, that we've gotten to the point where we're so damn weak. We got so many weak-willed people that we just can't do what's right. No, you came here, you and your baby leaving. I'm sorry. You and your child leaving. Because these people are going to cry, they're going to whine, they're going to do whatever the hell they want to do. You and your child leaving. And it was just like when they did the interview with Tom Homan. Well, Mr. Homan, how are you going to deal with, separating families? Well, families can be deported together. That's just what it boils down to. Families can be deported together. That's just it. Get with your mom, get with your dad, y'all get deported. And I know it sounds rough and mean, but it's just a fact. It's the law. Just like if I break the law, I'm getting arrested. Period. Ain't no sympathy for my black behind when I get arrested. Ain't nobody like, well, yeah, that black man got arrested. No, it's a fact. I got arrested. I got to deal with it. All of a sudden, it's this sympathy for all these people that broke the law, man. No, hell no, hell no. I'm not buying that foolishness. No.
My mom just got deported. My mom just got deported. It's so not fair. It's so not fair. She's literally not a criminal. Like, she's literally just paid her tax.
Your mama is here illegally. That make your mama a criminal. This is what I don't understand. See, this is why you have to enforce the law. Because we get to the point to where breaking law is so normal that when it's enforced, she's literally not a criminal. She been paying her taxes. Your mama broke the law. You lucky they ain't grab your behind. Because if I was president, you'll be gone.
So she's literally just... We're not safe. No one's safe. Please.
No, you ain't lying. You ain't safe.
Hug your loved ones.
He ain't lying about that. Y'all ain't safe. No, he ain't lying.
My mom just got deported.
You ain't lying. Y'all ain't safe.
My mom just got deported.
I ain't gonna lie. That's the realest thing he said. Y'all ain't safe, man. I'm not trying to be insensitive. You know what I'm saying? You ain't safe. You right about that. And you shouldn't have been safe in the first place.
On Friday, a federal judge who was appointed by President Trump said a 2-year-old American citizen child had been sent to Honduras with the mother who was deported. But the judge said, quote, there was no meaningful process. So again, this is another similar situation and dynamic. Shouldn't there be special care when these deportation cases involve small American-born children?
Well, first of all, I disagree with the judge. There was due process. That female had due process at great taxpayer expense and was ordered by the immigration judge after those hearings. So she had due process. Again, this is parenting 101. You can decide to take that child with you, or you can decide to leave the child here with a relative or another spouse. Having a U.S. citizen child doesn't make you immune from our laws of the country. American families get separated every day by law enforcement. Thousands of times a day when a parent gets put in jail, the child can't go with them. These, if you're an illegal alien, come to this country, and you decide to have a U.S. citizen child, that's on you. You put yourself in that position.
Well, when it came to this...
That's exactly what I said, Tom. That's what I said, Tom, whole man. Ice cold Tom, whole man. That's exactly what I said. Bruh, you decide to come here. That's like if I decide that I'm about to go in the kitchen and start whipping me some crack. I'm in there whipping it. I'm whipping crack. I'm making crack. I decided to cook that crack. And somebody snitch on me. It ain't the snitch fault. If I wouldn't have been cooking the crack, dog, I wouldn't have got caught with the crack. But let's say I got through whipping the crack. I'm whipping it, and it's done, right? And then I head out to the streets, and I start selling my crack. And I ended up selling to an undercover agent. I ain't had to sell that crack. I had all the other choices in the world. That's my fault. And this whole not wanting to hold anybody accountable for what they do and the decisions they make is ridiculous.
This particular case, you just pointed out that they could have made arrangements. The father tried, actually, to make arrangements, as we understand it through our reporting.
She. See, this is what I'm talking about. So, here we go. The father tried to make arrangements. So, everything I've seen on this process is 30, 60, 90 days. You file your appeal. They tell you got to go. You get with your attorney. You file your appeal. They be like, okay, we're going to see if we're going to give you some kind of a stay order. We just went through this last week, and it's got to go to the court for 30 days. And they come through. Them people that had 90 damn days to make a decision. 90 days. I'm going to tell you what happened. Just like everything else happened, they did what they've been trying to do, which is they waited to the last minute to try and file something on the behalf of the father, thinking it was going to work. You been knew you was illegal. You knew you had that baby. You knew that baby, your baby mom was illegal when that baby came out. When she spread her legs and the baby popped out, you knew that woman was illegal. You could have handled the paperwork then. You can say, okay, in the case you get deported, I got custody of the kids, and we're going to put it in writing. You knew that woman was illegal when you laid with her. All this, he tried. Get the hell out of there. Baby 2 years old. That's 48 months. 24 months that you knew that baby was born from the womb of an illegal woman. And we ain't even talking about a 6-year-old. Yeah, you had a 6-year-old. That baby been around 6 years. You had her with an illegal.
But he and the mother, who were separated since she was in detention after showing up for her appointment, was only allowed a very brief phone call. The father tried to petition to get the child handed over to an American citizen relative. So the mother had to make...
Wait, so the father's illegal? Did you catch that? So the father tried to petition to have the child turned over to an American citizen relative. Well, listen. Hold on. What you trying to tell me is the daddy wasn't legal either? Is that what you saying, lady, that the daddy wasn't legal? So you got two illegals that had a baby. And the daddy wasn't legal. The daddy tried to get the baby handed over to a family member. See, it's all in the, and you got to listen carefully. Listen to what she say. I'm going to play it again.
Showing up for her appointment was only allowed a very brief phone call. The father tried to petition to get the child handed over to an American citizen relative. So the mother had to make this decision and took the child with her.
Okay, so it make all the sense in the world. I'm mama. I'm getting deported. I got my baby. And so daddy, the baby not going with daddy because daddy illegal. Clearly daddy illegal because if daddy was American citizen, then the baby could have stayed with daddy. So daddy is an illegal too. And so I'm mom and I'm saying, no, he said, well, we could give it to one of my relatives that's a American citizen. No, my baby coming with me. But they making it seem like we created this worst case scenario. These people created this scenario in their life, man. And everybody's supposed to care about the bad decisions you made. Y'all don't give a damn about the bad decisions I made in my life. Let's keep it real. I can go back over decision after decision after decision that was bad. You can be like, DW, I ain't trying to hear that foolishness. We all done made mistakes. But they want to dress up these people bad decisions and put them in tuxedos and in evening gowns and waltz them around the room in front of us like, boo doo doo, boo 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 boo. But look at that bad decision and it's so glorious. Boo doo doo. Hell no. Hell to the no. To the no. No, ladies and gentlemen. No. And then they tell half-truths. We just heard the half-truth being revealed right in front of your face. You just heard the half-truth. The father tried to get the baby to be with an American family member that was a legal citizen, meaning the daddy ain't no citizen. And Tom Homan didn't call it out. Tom should have said, are you trying to disclose to the American people that the father is an illegal alien too? So the story should be 2-year-old anchor baby deported with her mother because father is an illegal alien as well. And it makes all the sense in the world to the average person. If you put yourself in their shoes, I'm in their shoes right now, and I'm the mama. I'm about to leave the baby with him. We don't even know the state of the family. For all we know, he could have just hit it and quit it. You know what I'm saying? He could have dropped his seed, did his deed, and went on about his business. Hell, for all we know, he ain't never even seen the baby before. We don't have none of those details, do we? No. You want to know why? Because they don't give you none of them details. They just paint the picture they want you to see. They want you to see this can. They like, we're selling you this, like on the Wolf of Wall Street. Sell me this pen. They are selling you the pen. And I'm telling you, break the pen.
It just seems like there could be some more time frame here around due process allowed. That's what the judge is saying there should have been more of a process here.
There was due process. The 2-year-old baby was left with the mother because the mother signed the document requesting her 2-year-old baby go with her. That's the parent's decision. I don't think the judge knows specifics of this case. 2-year-old went with the mom. The mom signed a paper saying, I want my 2-year-old to go with me. That's a parent's decision. It's not a government decision. It's a parent's decision.
The father wrote a note. Anyhow, we have to leave it there. Director, thank you for your time today.
The father wrote a note. The father wrote a note. The father wrote a note. Now, again, let me walk y'all through this. Everybody knows about the birds and the bees, right? Yeah, the birds and the bees. Then you have the little stalk that delivers the baby, right? From the time the baby came off the stalk of the bird and it was laid down in front of the doorstep with the little blanket already, or from the time the baby was laid outside the front door of the fire station, they knew that baby came from an illegal woman. So they had 2 years to prepare for the inevitable. Now let's keep it real. Let's go a little bit deeper. Over the past 2 years, what have you heard? This is 2025, 2024, 2023. We know for sure in 2024 they had to be sitting there listening to Donald Trump say, I'm deporting every illegal there is. So what you're trying to tell me is you had ample time to prepare for this as a father. Ample time to prepare for this. Ample time and ample warning. And you broke the law, man. And you illegal. Yeah, see, they be getting under my skin. They like Frank Sinatra. I feel like I got them under my skin right now, ladies and gentlemen. I've got you under my skin. But I'm going to say this and then I'm going to stop. See, This is what we're going to have to contend with when we get to the next phase. The next phase, which I call the heart-wrenching phase. They're going to try and take your heart and they're going to twist it. Because you know your heart kind of rolls. It rolls. It's like an organ that rolls out like this. And then you roll it up this side, roll up this side, and then you got a heart. It's big muscle. They're going to roll your heart out like this, and then they're going to twist it, and they're going to try and wring it out like this and make you feel bad. But see, this is where you got to decide if you're an American or American. And you're going to need to have circumcised ears so you can hear the truth. Just like we heard the truth right then and there, you're going to have circumcised ears. You can't have that foreskin on your ears. Because it's not going to let you hear the truth, man. But if you keep swimming in the waters, I'm going to help you get rid of the foreskin on your ear. And you get off me. And you're going to hear it all, man. You're going to hear it all. You're going to see it all because we swimming in the waters. We swimming in the waters, baby.